Krishna, Hare Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare. Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Today we are reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, third canto, chapter 27, and verse number 21. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Narayana Namaskritam Naram Chaiva Narottamam Devim Saraswatim Vyasam Tato Jayamudire Nastaprayeva Kritu Nityam Bhagavata Sritaya Bhagavata Samaputi Bhakti Bhavati Naiti Krishna Swadhama Bhagati Samajana Kalona Chadita Srimad Bhagavata. text number 21. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Animitta Nimittena Sudharmena Amalatmana Prayamai Bhaktaya Bhaktyacha Sruta Samritaya Chiram Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Animita Nimitena Sudharmena Amalatmana Tibrayamai Bhaktyacha Sruta Samritaya Chiram Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Animita Nimitena Sudharmena Amalatmana Tibrayamai Bhaktyacha Sruta Samritaya Chiram Sri Bhagavan Uvacha Nimitena Sudharmena Amalatmana Tibrayamai Bhaktyacha Sruta Samritaya Chiram Animittena Nimittena Sudharmena Malatmana Vidyami Bhaktyacha Sruta Samritaya Chiram Sri Bhagavan Uvacha The Supreme Personality of Godhead said Animitta Nimittena without desiring the fruits of activity Sudharmena by executing one's prescribed duties Amala Atmana with a pure mind Sri 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 Brahya Siriya Mai unto me Bhaktya by devotional service Cha and Sruta hearing Sambhitaya endowed with freedom for a long time. Translation and purport by Hridayanga Prabhu Karnaragna Vedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki the Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. By thus executing one's prescribed duty, there will be no reaction and one will be freed from the contaminants of matter. Sridhar Swami comments in this connection that by association with the material nature alone one does not become conditioned. Conditional life begins only after one is infected by the modes of material nature. If someone is in contact with the police department, that does not mean that that he is a criminal. As long as one does not commit criminal act, even though by the police department, he is not punished. Similarly, the liberated soul is not affected, although he is in the material nature. Even the Supreme Personality of Godhead is supposed to be in association with the material nature when he descends, but he is not affected. One has to act in such a way that, in spite of being in the material nature, is not affected by contamination. Although the lotus flower is in association with water, it does not mix with the water. That is how that is how one has to live, as described here by the personality of God, Godhead Kapila Dev. Animitta nimittena sudharmena amalatmana. One can be liberated from all adverse circumstances simply by seriously engaging in devotional service. How this devotional service develops and becomes mature in explained here. In the beginning, one has to perform his prescribed duty with a clean mind. Clean consciousness means Krishna consciousness. One has to perform his prescribed duties in Krishna consciousness. There is no necessity of changing one's prescribed duty. One simply has to act in Krishna consciousness. In discharging Krishna consciousness duties, one should determine whether by his professional or occupational duties, Krishna, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, is satisfied. In another place in the Bhagavatam, it will say, Sonutishtasya dharmasya samsiddhir haritoshanam. Everyone has some prescribed duties to perform, but the perfections of such duties will be reached only in the Supreme Personality of God. The Hari is satisfied by such action. For example, Arjuna's prescribed duty was to fight, and the perfections of his fighting was tested by the satisfactions of Krishna. Krishna wanted him to fight, and when he fought for the satisfaction of the Lord, that was the perfections of his professional devotional duty. On the other hand, when contrary to the wish of Krishna, he was not willing to fight. That was impossible. If one wants to perfect his life, he should discharge his prescribed duties for the satisfaction of Krishna. One must act in Krishna consciousness, for such action will never produce any reaction. Animitta nimitta. This is also confirmed in Bhagavad Gita. Yajnatam karmano annetra. All activities should be performed simply for yajna or the satisfaction of Vishnu. Anything done otherwise without the satisfaction of Vishnu or yajna produce bondage. So here it is also described by Kapila Muni that one can transcend, transcend material entanglement by acting in Krishna consciousness, which means seriously engaging in devotional service. This serious devotional service can develop by hearing for long periods of time. Chanting and hearing in the beginning of the process of devotional service. One should associate with devotees and hear from them about Lord Krishna's transcendental appearance, activities, disappearance, instructions, etc. There are two kinds of Shruti or scripture. One is spoken by the Lord, and, and the another is spoken about the Lord and his devotee. Bhagavad Gita is the Homer and Srimad Bhagavatam is later. One must hear these scriptures repeatedly from reliable sources. reliable sources in order to begin thick in serious devotional service. Through the engagement in such devotional service, one became freed from the contaminations of Maya. It it is stated in Srimad Bhagavatam that hearing about the supreme personality of Godhead cleanses the heart of all contamination caused by the influence of the three modes of material nature. By continuous regular hearing, the effects of the contaminations of lust and greed to enjoy or lord it over material nature diminish. And when lust and greed diminish, one then becomes situated in the modes of goodness. This is the stage of Brahman realization or spiritual realization. In this way, one becomes fixed on the transcendental platform. Remaining fixed on the transcendental platform is liberation from material contamination. Ajnana Pujana Satchidananda Namo Vishnu Namo Vishnu Guruvani Jai Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Purnitananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shri Gaur Bhakta Hare Krishna Hare Krishna Hare 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 Ram Hare Ram. The Supreme Personality of Godhead said, one can get liberation by seriously discharging devotional service unto me, and thereby hearing for a long time about me or from me. By thus executing one's prescribed duty, there will be no reaction, and one will be free from the contaminations of matter. Devotee asks the question, Lord, available, and question is that does material nature ever give relief to the spirit soul? Since one is attracted to the other eternally, how is their separation possible? And for giving the answer, and how can we separate this soul and body? How we can liberate from this material influence, goodness, passion, and weakness. So, and which seriously discharging, that means discharging by the devotional service. Uh, Devotional service start from the from where? First hearing, Sravanam Kirtanam, Krishna Smarana. That means first hearing and then chanting. Hearing for a long time about me. And that's why need the classes regular. That's the proper with this opportunity to ask everybody. Nityam Bhagavata Sevaya. Only maybe Gaudiya Math and other some Maths, maybe Gaudiya Math. I mean Gaudiya Sampradaya, they practice this now. And other Sampradaya they practice they speaker as a class, not like in a regular class. They read and then taking quotes and they read Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam and other Puranas and Upanishads, Vedas, all together they do very nicely. They have course and classes and Guru they start from there. and everything they do. Same thing, and God gave us this opportunity to listen Bhagavad Gita that in everyday class, and by hearing only, and then do the prescribed duty, executing one's prescribed duty. Whether people are in, they are working here and there, it doesn't matter. If they are some sibling Hari, if they are doing for the satisfaction of the Lord, and that doesn't matter. If we are doing something, yajna by Vishnu, whatever we are performing, that should be for Vishnu. Otherwise, what will happen? Contamination will come and bondage will be there. And they are not in a liberated state. And Sridhar Swami comment on this connection. Only within the by associated with the material nature alone, one does not become conditioned. That means not mixing with the mode of nature. That means not mixing with the nature mean uh, overcome of the influence of the mode of nature. And by hearing and chanting, and then they can do that one. Otherwise, no possible. Then we are giving analyze police department, and who come to the police department, even though jail, they all are not criminal. Some of the servants and who serve very nicely over there, and some of the officers, some policemen, and other visitor also come over there. That means they are not criminal. Same thing within this material world, and who is not affected by the, and who is not a criminal, that means who is doing their prescribed duty means, who is chanting the glories of Lord and discussing that, that means they are the liberated soul, and they are not affected by this mode of nature. So another example also here, the lotus flower. Lotus flower all the time is on the garbage, filthy place, muddy place, and not good place, but it come from there, and very nice flower over there, not affected by that mud. Hmm? Very nice. Mud is not there. Very nicely flowering, blooming, and blooming. So same thing. Animitta nimittena sudharmena amalatmana. And they can move all the circumstances by seriously engaging in the devotional service. They can cross. They can cross this effect of the natural nature. And if you are saying, firstly, prescribed duty is that clean the mind. Firstly, we have to clean the mind. That's why Chaitanya Mahaprabhu gives the first verse and first thing is Yato Darpana Mahadana. Hmm? In Shiksha Sakam, first verse and the first word is Yato Darpana Mahadana. Chitta Rupi Darpan. That means clean. And clean consciousness means Krishna consciousness. Prabhupada just emphasize this. And one have to do their prescribed ritual in Krishna consciousness, not other consciousness. Other demigods of the consciousness is there, many consciousness. And once we become with the Lord, that is also another consciousness, yoga system, and different. Um, Yajnatham Karmano Annetra. Yajna by Vishnu. We have to perform the yajna for the pleasing the Lord Vishnu. Uh, and then another thing is here talking about the one must hear this scripture means the Bhagavatam and Gita repeatedly. That means barambar. eh? Continuously we have to hear. And once read and then done. And once hearing and then done. Not like that. We have to keep repeatedly we have to read and from reliable source. That is not from all the time from fun and heavy. Not about hearing from it. I mean, not by the bogus spiritual matter. Have to be in the sampradaya, who is in the sampradaya. There is no harm hearing from the other sampradaya who is recommended by the Lord. That is also no harm. With the Vaishnava, like Sri Vaishnava, Nimarka, and others. If not possible to hear from our sampradaya, then we can hear from others too. There's no harm. But not other upper sampradaya. And then through the devotional service and free from the contamination of the mind. Hearing about the personality of Godhead cleanses the heart of all contamination caused by the influence of the material, the mode of material nature. By continuously regular hearing the effect of the contamination from lust and enjoy and lord it over material nature diminish. This hearing process for the diminish our lust and greed. Two things. Very hard to is very easy to hear, but if we are practicing, it's very hard to practice. Yes? Last mean not only uh, is the time, the last mean accumulate the lots of things. That means post, wealth, name, fame, whatever. That all lost and greed, whatever they are obtained and they want to all the time to grab it up. That is also greed. And that will be go by the seriously chanting chanting, hearing and chanting the holy name of Lord, and it will be go. This is the effect of Brahman realization. That means if we become this pure goodness, and that's the effect of the Brahma realization and spiritual realization. In this way, one can fix on the transcendental platform. Remaining fixed on the transcendental platform is liberation from material entanglement. So, the way we can conquer our lust and greed, and then we can situate in the liberated form. That is the thing. We have to clean our mind first, and clean mind means Krishna consciousness. Clean consciousness means Krishna consciousness. Other consciousness is unclean, contamination. So this is a very, very, uh, I think, good word to know uh, how we can overcome by this entanglement of the soul, and we have to free the soul. Soul is never born, but soul as the body. Means soul means jivatma, living entity, and living entity come to the contact with the material bondage material things, and it bond us by the influence of the Maya. Maya Devi work through the modes of nature. How she works? She works through the mode of nature, goodness, passion, and ignorance. So if Maya Devi will please to Lord and Maya Devi not affected anymore. Sometimes they say the fisherman they put their net on the river and whatever and pond. And what he did, what he do, he do that not putting in on his feet, and he throw the net far away, and we take, I mean, we taking shelter, and we fish in nearby the fisherman's feet over there, and they will sink. And if go the far away, that means they are trapped in the net. No, fisherman never put any on his head is that net, which all the time throw away, and just trap the fishes over there. Same thing if we are taking shelter the lotus feet of the Lord, and Maya Devi will not affect us. And if we want to go far away from Lord, and then Maya Devi, Krishna boli, yeah, Maya dhapate Maria. Maya dhapati Maria. Something I forgot. That means if we not come to the contact of Krishna and not chanting the name, and we are not associated with the devotee, not hearing the glories of the Lord, and Maya Tare Chapati Maria. So Maya Devi is slapping them. We are taking shelter. That is all. So that's why if we want to overcome from this uh, bondage of the Maya, the mode of nature, we have to practice hearing and chanting the glory of. That is the conclusion. And after hearing and chanting, mind will clean and consciousness also clean. Clean consciousness means Krishna consciousness. We are here for practicing, and he is not practicing, so others have to practice. श्रीमद् भागवत महापुराण की जय श्रील प्रभुपाद